Morning. You have to excuse if I look tired. It's very early on this lovely Saturday morning. I'm currently down Lady Bay again. It's been a good month since my last video on Lady Bay where I had those blonde rays. I was quite happy with that trip and I couldn't wait to get back over here again. So I had pretty much most of the day free with the southerly winds touching 20 mile an hour, small tides. Why not head back over to Lady Bay? So we're here. This is my second cast. I did set up further down Lady Bay, but the wind was catching me, so the direction I needed to cast, the wind was pretty much in my face. So I wasn't comfortable. So I put the rods back in the bag, put the box on my back, and did a 15-minute walk up the ledge. And where I am now, there's not a breath of wind. The sea's flat calm. I set up in the dark. I put the first baits out. Only a little lob, a new line on the reels. Nothing come of it. I put the second cast out about 10 minutes ago. The right hand rod folds right round, comes slack, a couple of taps. It's settled in the tide now. So I don't know if there's something small on there or if I missed it. So I'm going to give it another 2 minutes and then I'm going to wind that in and see what state the bait is in. So yeah, it's currently 5 hours till high water. So I've been here since just before low. I'm going to fish all the flood, maybe a cast or two on the ebb, and then I'm going to shoot off home. Second cast. This was the first cast I actually wound one up. First cast in the dark because I had a new line. It was only a gentle lob, 60-70 yards. But this was the first cast where it was 4 ragworm, tip with a squid head, bound into a sausage with elastic. Smashed it as far as I can. Got me a nice little, it's got to be £1.5, maybe £2. So lovely codling. Beautiful fish. Absolutely beautiful. All we need now is one 5 times this size. yeah, bit of a result that. So at first cast, I got you in the dark, fresh line on the reels. I lobbed them about 60 yards, 70 yards. And then as soon as I got light a bit, put them out as far as I can then. But I've just wound in the other one. Half a bluey and squid, not even touched. So I've just put worm and crab out on that one now. And on the other one I got crab and squid. So just sharpen my point because I caught a rock. So yeah, 4 hours to high water. So looking promising. Right there. There's quite a few anglers down here now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 as far as I can see. And no doubt there's more around towards the first point. I haven't seen anything else caught yet, but it's still early. Luckily the codling's gone back. Didn't look too good for him. He did take one hook quite deep, but he's gone back lovely. So yes, let's get one baited up. So a nice juicy ragworm. And then we get a crab. There, right there. I'd lose my head if it weren't screwed on. Doggy! Right. Crab and ragworm. Folded into a sausage. I'm not a fan of worm baits going up the snood with the two hooks far apart. I'd rather have it bunched together like a sausage and just wrap it in elastic. Because that codling was only about £2 and he had both 5/0s in him. No doubt if the ragworm was threaded up the snood, he'd only had one hook in him. Pull the needle out, see? Lovely. That's all you need. On a 2-foot pulley rig, usual components, £100. I'm using 7 ounces at the moment because the tide's not too bad. This is Mr. Seagull. There it is. Lovely bait. Yeah, it slowed up a little bit. I didn't have anything on those last 2 casts. So I think that codling was just coming through. So I don't know if you can see another rod there. That is my Ron Thompson accelerator I take pretty much everywhere with me. It's coupled up with a SL30 loaded with £40 diver sensor and £100 leader. I've got a 3 foot £200 pulley rig on there with 4 catfish hooks with double bluey literally lobbed just on the edge of the rocks. So could be another bass, could be an eel, could be a doggy, or nothing at all. So while these two are fishing out at range for a cod, there's no harm in chucking a little rod down there. So yes, that's the last bait that just come in. Crab and worm, not even touched. So there's quite a few anglers down here now. There's a good 10, 12 as far as I can see. And there's 2 anglers. I don't think you see them there. They're down on the weed on one of the points up there. It's mid-tide now. It's about 9 o'clock. High water's about 12:30. So I'm going to give it till 1 I am. Take my little one out later. So I'll leave you before I get home then. It takes me just under an hour to get home. But we still got 3-4 hours fishing. So it only takes a second to get a bite. As you know. If you're wondering what that clicking is, that is the ratchet. I literally have it on the edge because the tide is absolutely ripping through at the moment. It's a good chance that that lead will trip out if I didn't have that ratchet set, if that makes sense. I can hear voices. Walkers coming down the path. Crab and squid on one. A big juicy worm bait on the other. Yes, let's get back to the fishing. It is very, very quiet. I've been fishing for 5 hours. I've had 1 bite. I've had to take the bib brace off because when I was casting, it just felt like the straps were trying to come off my shoulders and it was putting me off. So I have thermals underneath this, which should be alright. But yeah, there's anglers as far as I can see to my left. And not a single fish has come out. 1 bite, and that was a nice little £2 codling. I've still got the double bluey down the edge. On the accelerator to see if a bass or an eel comes along. Just put 2 fresh baits out. We've got 2 baited up on the stand ready. All we can do is try. There's accelerators, you can see. Some of you might ask why I'm fishing so heavy, £200 pulley rig, but we all know, you know, bass and congers, they come in close. The last thing you want to do is chuck out an £80 pulley rig for £20-25 eel over the rough. You just get cut off. Now you might get lucky and land it, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. You say like the SL30 is always in my box. The accelerator doesn't weigh anything, so 9 times out of 10 I take it everywhere. Don't always use it. I didn't use it in my last video when I was on Abthorn. I had that bass. Because I just thought the doggies were just going to be on it. You know, the dogfish are hard with 1 rod. Never mind 2, but never mind 3. So yeah. Very, very quiet. I think it's got a lot to do with these easterly winds we've had. I think if you're not on the fish, if you're not lucky on that day, on that tide, it's hard going. You could come down here tonight or tomorrow, there'll be a massive shoal of cod in front of you, or codling, whiting, eels. You know, like I said before, you can only catch what's in front of you. The sun was trying to come out just now, that's why I've got my glasses on. I'm not sure if you can pick that up on camera. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people. The guy next to me is probably 20 metres away from me. Looks a bit further on the camera, but he's about 20 metres. Yeah, but then on this side, there's a big drop down there, so no one can fish to my right. So I'm safe here. I'm safe at the moment because the tide is flooding from left to right. So I'm casting out straightish. It's being pulled down there away from everyone. But I'm sure if I was to fish much of the ebb, my rigs would be down in front of all those lot. That's the Severn Bridge in the background there. Don't know if you can see that. Then you got Newport, you got Cardiff, you can see Barry, I can see Aberthorpe Power Station where I live. Yeah, today I was torn between here, Breendown or Penarth. But because we've had this bitter easterly wind for 3 weeks, you know, I think that massive bay, that big sandy bay on the right hand side of Breendown, we've had this easterly pumping in there. You know, I don't think there's going to be any fish in there. Might be a couple of stragglers, but then we've had the easterly hammering the Penarth side, and here there's so much water comes through here and tide. So all day yesterday I was like, oh, where do I go? Do I bother? Do I do this? Do I go there? And I was like, I was doing my own heading. So we're here, we're giving it a go. That's the main thing. You know, this is the part of angling I hate. Look at that. Load of wet wipes in a frozen puddle. You know, you brought the wet wipes for a reason, to wipe your hands. So you knew that you were going to use them. So why couldn't you put them into a plastic bag and take them home? Now they're frozen solid. You know, just one bad angler gives us all anglers a bad name. You know, we've all been guilty of dropping a packet and the wind blowing it off, you know, or something's been blown out of a box. You know, it happens, you know, but leaving all these wet wipes in a puddle like this, it's shocking. If you're watching this and you've done that, you should be ashamed of yourself. And the whole puddle is frozen solid. It's like inches thick, so yeah, it's not good. Just going to run you through the rigs I'm using today. Nice and simple. Little 2-foot pulley rig. 5.0 BMXs. That's 4 ragworm. Whipped halfway up, folded back on itself and whipped all the way back down, so it was like a sausage. Onto 200 gram lead. The mono's £100. Usual Varivas components you should all know by now. So that's what I'm using on the one. On the other one, it's 3 foot, it's a little bit longer. It's still perfect for a cod. But I'm using squid and crab. Same hooks, same components, just 1 foot longer. Because there's a chance of a cod and there's a ray, right, a thornback ray. So very, very doubt we'll get a blonde. So yeah, that's the rigs of the baits I'm using today. Yeah, it's very tough going, very, very tough. It's been 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours since I had that codling. I've not had a bite since. Bait should be coming in absolutely perfect. Not a strand of elastic out of place. I haven't seen a single fish along this ledge either. A group of guys down but one, they're using flappers and small worm baits and small hooks, nothing. There's zero. I guess if there's no fish there, you're not going to catch. I'm just glad I had that one bite. So it's approaching high water now, so I'll probably give it another hour. See what happens. But it's nice to show you these difficult sessions, you know, it's not always about catching fish. Catching fish is a bonus. Yeah, I really don't know what to suggest. It's like half hour till high. I left these last ones out there for an hour. So I just put some fresh ones out. So they was out there for an hour, not even touched. So we've got some strong tide. I'm even contemplating a little tour clip down, but like, if there was whiting about, those baits would be getting nailed, but there's nothing. So more anglers have turned up. There's 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 anglers to my left, and not a single fish. It looks like it's going to be the codling to save a blank. It's not good. I think it's got a lot to do with these. We had what, over 3 weeks of bitter cold easterly winds. You know, for the last week, what has it been, -4, -5 in the nights? You know, I found myself, not last night, the night before at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, with our boiler breaking down, brand new boiler, 12 months old, because is it a conduit pipe or a condensate, I don't know, some plastic pipe coming out the wall, where when the boiler's running it leaks water, but the gas engineers so it comes out the wall like that, down into the drain, but that bottom piece that goes into the drain was slightly raised, so as the water was coming out the boiler going into the drain, it wasn't fully emptying because it was slightly raised, right? So all that filled with water and then froze up into the boiler. So that was a nightmare. I was out there for a good hour with a heat gun, kettle, finally got the boiler working again. So yeah, but it's been absolutely bitter. So, but all I've had is one bite. So I've done an hour down, all the flood, start of the ebb, for one bite. No nibbles, no strands of elastic out of place, nothing. The baits came back in as good as they went out. There's 13 rods to my left, not a single fish in sight. All distances I've seen, close in, far out, nothing. To say, I even had the accelerator down the edge with double bluey for 2 hours, not a nibble. So, but the winds have gone southwesterly for the last couple of hours. The reason why I'm over here. It's definitely not as cold as it has been, but we've got a nice storm coming now over the next couple of days. Temperatures are rising to like 8, 9, 10 degrees. So hopefully get Christmas out the way, New Year, start of January, get a bit more warmer temperatures, some warm water coming through, a lot of rainwater coming through the channel. Hopefully the fishing will pick back up. So I think after today is Saturday, I'm gonna forget about fishing over Christmas and New Year and spend time with the family, start fresh again, maybe end of December, but probably the first, second week of January, and see if we can get out and start catching some fish again. Because it has been hard work. Like last week was hard work with the doggies, but it was a result with the bass last cast. Nice 5-pound bass. But today is just, it's fishing at the end of the day. You know, if there's nothing there, you're not going to catch them. Not going to catch them. Yeah. I had prime Devon crab, prime ragworm, bluey, squid, nothing. Just one codling, about £2 on some ragworm. So yeah. Not a single fish in sight. So yeah. So I'm going to pack the gear away now. Get on the motorway, get on the M5, get on the M4, get home, put the gear away, have a shower, chill out and enjoy the Christmas. So that's me done today, I think. So right, this is the last one I'm going to do now until Christmas. So if I don't see you beforehand, make sure you have a nice Christmas and a nice New Year. And if you're out over Christmas and New Year, I hope you get some tight lines. And look forward to coming back and doing the next video. So until the next time, tight lines and Merry Christmas.